Today we're back to round off our time with CFR Cluj, as well as check in with our former clubs to see what kind of campaign they've had. And we've also got the small matter of a Romanian Cup Final to play. So we're going to dive straight into that Cup Final. We're going to stick with our 4-4-2 diamond. It's done well since we've switched to it, so we're going to stay that way for the Cup Final. We've always got the option to change it up and play three up front again if we feel we need to, but I think this is how we should start the game. We're going to go with that balanced mentality as well, and these are the players that are going to step out and try and win us a Romanian double. We're going to be playing a tough team, one that's beaten us already this season, and one that's got some interesting owners and a very interesting manager. Today's opponents are Faro Constanta, a club that are based on the coast of Romania. Constanta will be hoping to add a cup victory to their 5th place finish, all achieved under the management of one of Europe's greatest ever players. As well as having Georgi Hagi in the dugout, Constanta also have Gica Popescu in the boardroom. And having already won the cup in 2019, this young club will sense the opportunity to win a second as Faro Constanta take on CFR Cluj at the National Stadium. So it's only been 4 days since the boys won the league, and I think the coaches took them out for some celebrations because there's some pretty tired legs, some pretty bloodshot eyes, and we're acquiring the same 11 players to go out and win a cup final at the National Stadium against a team who've been pretty stubborn opponents so far this season, so we'll see how we get on against them. So it's been a very quiet opening half an hour to this game. We've not had a single highlight, but on 29 minutes we're into one. Stands are not exactly packed for this, are they? But we could be celebrating if Munteanu can finish this. Or Debelia. Oh, he's hitch-kicked one from the edge of the area. I think it's hit the outside netting. 32 minutes in, and it's highlight time again. Debelia's in, Serjan's in. Munteanu's come from an offside position. He's given the ball to Debelia. That's the second shot he's had where he could have hit the back of the net. He's missed them both. It's not going to be one of those afternoons, is it? At least we've stung ourselves into life after both teams have had a very, very quiet opening half an hour of the game. Don't think Constanta had a single effort on goal yet, never mind on target. Whereas at least we've started to look a bit more threatening now, and Munteanu's in. And this time we take the chance. 33 minutes. Our young striker manages to get us into the lead. He shows old man Debelia exactly what he should have been doing with those 2 earlier chances. Morgosh sends a long ball forward. Gabi, imperious in the air. And Serjan, as the playmaker, just tees up Munteanu. It's a routine finish for the 20-year-old. We've got ourselves a 1-goal lead, but we're into the highlights straight from kick-off again. We don't want to give that goal away, only having just taken the lead. We need to try and win it back and force a little counter-attack of our own. Still got plenty of time left in this half to see out with our 1-goal winning margin. The ball's all the way back with their keeper. He's not exactly rushing to play the ball forward, is he? Now he's gone long. We've managed to win the ball through Morgosh into midfield. Now Gabs is on the ball. He's looking to make things happen. We've gone very long again, and it's gone straight to their keeper again. This is a very elongated highlight. This time he's cleared the ball to our left back rather than our right back. And we go again. Serjan, he's all over the park. And now Munteanu's in again. And that is a far more disappointing effort than his goal. So we've got through to the half-time interval. Our opponents have not had a single effort on goal. And we've managed to control possession in this game as well. Something we've done a far better job of since we switched to this diamond midfield. We're going to tell the players we want a little bit more from the start of the second half. If we could get a second goal, we might be about to do the double. We've only just restarted for the second half, but we've got a highlight already. We're on the ball, and we've got it through to our left back. Look how far at the pitch he is. Doesn't quite have the pace to take it on himself, but he's put a ball into the box, but it's headed away, and it's our opponents that are now on the ball. We've got to try and win it back all over again. Is their goalkeeper going to go long and send the ball straight to our defence like he was doing routinely in the first half? Well, he's done his bit. He's gone long. We've headed it away, but we can't win the second ball. We've got to win the ball all over again. This is another very long highlight, and the ball is back with their keeper again. He does like a punt upfield. This time he might have got one over our defence because they are through, and they've equalised right at the start of the second half. And that strategy of thumping long balls forward from the keeper Well, it's finally paid off for them. In the first half, we were mopping those balls up. This time it's gone over our back line. We're a bit too high. He's just raced off the back of Gita. And our goalkeeper's crouching down, but he doesn't even put a hand out. So our opponents have only had one shot on target in the entire game, and they are level with us. I feel like we need to up our intensity a little bit, and Gabs tries to do just that. And Munteanu's fired one. I think their keeper has got a hand to it, but he's pushed it into his own net. I said we needed to up the intensity. I think Debelia was listening, because he's come steaming in, and he's won the ball off their fullback, and he's sent in a good pass. And he's just teed it up and volleyed it. And their keeper really should have claimed it. Instead, he's pushed it into the corner of the net. An hour gone now. We just need to hold on. So we still have one substitution left to make. I think I'm going to leave it for the final 5 minutes. We've steadied the ship a little bit. We're on 82 minutes. And we're bringing the ball forward. We've got it with Debelia. He could tee up his strike partner. Instead, it's a poor pass. And they've got 2 players up front. Maybe we need a third central defender just to see out this game. Kordosh could seal it for us here, though. Their keeper is up to the task on this occasion. We've got a corner from it. That could have been the one that sealed it. What can we do from the set play? Chvek's on it. He's going to send in a near post corner. Debelia has a go. Not been his day, has it really? And I think we might just pause it on 84 minutes, maybe even throw on some time wasting and make another defensive change. So this is very negative, but I've taken off Gabby Debelia and I've brought on a third centre-half just to try and increase how solid we're going to be for this final 5 minutes. It's all about trying to cling on. Hopefully the boys can see it over the line. However, we've launched into the highlights straight away. Florescu, Morgosh, it looks like it could be our highlight. Munteanu's racing clear. He's dinked an effort. It's drifted over the bar. We've had 2 chances now to put this game to bed. As we reach 90 minutes, we're now going to throw on the full time wasting. Can we just get through to the end of injury time? There's going to be 5 minutes of it. Where's the ref found the time? Surely we can't lose it now. They've only had 1 shot in the entire game. And finally, we get to see one of our mercenary teams climb up onto a podium and lift a trophy. We've won the Croatian second tier. We've won the Polish second tier. We've won the Romanian top flight, and we've yet to see this little montage of our players celebrate. But finally, we lift a trophy aloft. Granted, just 2 episodes ago, my entire world was caving in and I thought we were going to throw everything away. But that little change of tactics at the right time just seems to have done the job. But now, of course, we want to go in and check in on our former clubs and see what kind of campaign they've had and how have those players that we voted to keep an eye on done during this season. So it's all gone wrong for our first club, Dugapolia. They've still got 2 games left of their season, but they're currently looking like they might have to face a relegation playoff. They could be dropping out of the playable leagues. And Dugapolia are not our only former club to have a disappointing campaign, because after last season's 3rd place finish, Pironia have finished 9th, and their European adventure was short-lived as well, going out to a team from Macedonia 3-2 on aggregate. But there's a more heartwarming story at Benin, who've gone all of the way to the semi-finals of the AFCON Championships. They've lost in that semi to eventual winners Senegal, but in their 3rd place playoff match, they've managed to beat Zambia on penalties. There were a lot of penalties missed in this game, and from the looks of the XG, they were fortunate to get all the way to penalties after all, but they've managed to get themselves a 3rd place finish. On to Górnik next, and after relegation last season, they've been promoted back to the top flight at the first attempt. They've still got a game left to go in their season, but they're 8 points clear of the playoff places, so Górnik will be back in top flight action next year. But Austria Wien won't. They've managed to come 2nd behind St Pölten, who take the only promotion place, and Austria Wien are going to be confined to another season of second-tier football in Austria. And so to our former players, where Duja Javorcic has played another season of non-league football in Croatia. Patrick Lejang is still first-choice stopper at Pironia, although he's had a difficult campaign. Peter Juritka didn't even star for Górnik in their promotion campaign. He stayed in the top flight, transferring to Corona for £120,000, scoring 4 goals in 20 appearances, but only averaging 6.71. But how did young Juve Fürstenhofer get on during his first season at Borussia Dortmund? Well, Not great, I'm afraid. He spent the entire season with Dortmund's second team, perhaps not unexpected. He's got 9 assists and 5 goals, an average rating above a 7, but crucially, Dortmund's second team are not in the playable leagues in FM, so Uwe has got a little bit of work to do if he's going to break into the Dortmund first team. But we need to decide which of our players for our time with Cluj we're going to track for the rest of their career, and there's a few that can consider themselves pretty unlucky to have missed out. Raul Opera has had a great second half to the season, 15 assists in 36 appearances for the club, but we're not going to choose him as one of our 3. Neither are we going to be picking Lovro Tvek. He's 31 years old now, so his career doesn't have much left to run. There is interest in him from Cadiz in Spain, but he has been another absolute steadying influence for us this season. But for our 3 players, we're going to go with some of our more attacking options, starting with Catalin Serjan, who we know already has a transfer to Watford agreed, and he'll be playing Premier League football next season. He's appeared in 32 games, scoring 11 goals and contributing 8 assists since we sold him to Watford. Before that, he'd scored 3 further goals in the 7 games that he'd played. He is going to be a player that I think has still got a little bit of development in him at 24 years old. I'm not sure he's cut out for top-flight football in England, maybe more of a championship player. It's going to be interesting to see whether Watford start him, whether he's in and around their squad, or whether they decide to loan him out instead. The second player we're going to give you to keep an eye on is one of our youngsters, Alexandru Munteanu, a player that's not always trained well this season, but another player that there is interest in. Hapoel Beersheva might be tabling a bid for him in the near future. He's made 34 appearances, he's scored 25 goals, 9 assists as well, and an average rating of 7.53. If you would like to vote to keep an eye on Alex as he makes the way through the rest of his career, then make sure you head over to the community tab and give him your vote. But even though he's a veteran, I don't think we could round off our time with Cluj without giving you the opportunity to carry on tracking Gabby Debulia. What a goal scorer he has been. He started 36 games for us. He's made 2 substitute appearances. He's got 6 Player of the Match awards, which seems scandalously low. He's managed to get 10 assists, as you would expect for a player that's played as a target forward for us. He's got an average rating of 7.63, but what sets him apart from our other players is that he's scored 34 goals for us, and this is a player that had only scored 12 in the previous campaign. If you would like to continue to follow Gabby and there is interest in him, head over to that communities tab and make him your player to keep an eye on. But we need to think about our own next move, because winning that title has given us a little bit of a reputation bump. Passing our Continental Pro license took us from 50 to 55%, making us a 3-star manager. Winning trophies in Romania has now increased our reputation to 60%. And we're looking like a pretty decent hire, I would say now. We're looking like we could actually play a role on the coaching field for the first time in our career. We're a strict disciplinarian. We can motivate the players. We're pretty good at managing the relationships with them as well. And it looks like we might just have a reputation that might allow us to apply for some pretty interesting jobs. If we have a look at what's available in the job centre, there's going to be a whole raft of jobs becoming available over the next week or so. We could head out to France and take up a job at Brest, although I'm pretty keen to stay at a top flight club and continue trying to win honours. To that end, we could go for Hapoel Haifa, who finished 11th in the Israeli top flight this season. Whether they'd be a club that could challenge for honours, I'm not quite sure. But whilst we go and update our CV, why don't you let us know down in the comments what country you would like to see us managing in over the next few seasons? And why not check out this video as well? Because if you're looking for a new FM22 adventure, this might just inspire your next save.